Hi guys, and welcome to a new redo of an old series on the channel. Now, this series has been on the channel so many times. Bugs Bunny Lost in Time. It's just been a case of every time it's gone up in the past, some kind of technical difficulties happened, including the latest re-upload, which was I believe 2 or 3 years ago, is missing a part. Obviously, which I don't have anymore. So yeah, we're just going to redo it. I mean, it's been such a long time since I've played it anyway. Duck Station allows me to vastly improve the graphics, so we may as well start again. So let's go ahead. So I'll keep my mouth shut whilst the cutscenes play.
Here I am, Pismo Beach. Hey, wait a minute. This doesn't look like Pismo Beach. I probably should have turned right at Albuquerque and... Ooh, look at the size of this carrot juice dispenser. Yipes.
Yikes indeed. So this is going to take us to the world slash era select menu. There's not really much to look at the minute. Anybody who's played the game or knows of the game will know what's here, but this is a fun fact, the only time nowhere will appear as an era we can visit, and it is in fact the only era we can visit. Everything else is locked by a mysterious clock symbol. So I'm going to be talking as though this is something that you will have only just discovered, so you're not going to know anything. That way I'll avoid spoilers just in case anybody hasn't played it before or seen it and goes, yeah, I'd really like to play this. Which I recommend if you haven't.
Come right in. How do you do? My name is Merlin, and I'm a sorcerer.
Yeah? Really? A sorcerer? Come on, let me see a saucer. Please, please?
Of course, anything to oblige a guest.
A favourite Looney Tunes character of mine, Merlin, even though he only
That's
appears
a
in
good
one
trick,
episode,
Moyle, old
as far as I'm
Goyle.
aware.
Can you do this one? That gave him a hobby, but I still ain't near it to my natural habitat. Sorry to interrupt this entertaining demonstration, but can you tell me where I am?
It seems that you are lost in time, my dear. Here, it's nowhere.
Nowhere? And do you know how I could get back to, somewhere?
Of course I know. You must go from one era to another and find symbols like this. They will open you new locations and will progressively lead you back to present time. All right, listen carefully, Rabbit. Get 10 of these objects to receive a clock symbol.
Golden carrots.
That's it for now. Bye.
Yeah, goodbye, Moyle.
Does seem to have the odd stutter on the cutscene there every now and then. I've had a nightmare trying to get this to record without lag, truthfully. I'm going to keep trying as I go on to improve it where I can, but it seems to be playable and enjoyable at this point, so should be fine as a starting point. So this is nowhere, one of my favourite areas, despite it being so simple. This is just basically your tutorial area, teaches you not to do that, as well as several other mechanics in the game. So here we see we can climb chains and objects that resemble chains, such as ropes and other objects we may come across. And the whole point here is to just do the tutorial and to such a point that we can collect 10 carrots and our first clock. And to do that, we have to interact with these signs. I believe you have to interact with the sign. I know this one at least. If you don't interact with the sign, golden carrot won't appear up there. Let's go ahead and learn how to fight.
While you're running, try the roll action. It can be used as an attack against enemies.
Okay, so the L1 button to roll, that's fine.
Use the jump or kick action to defeat some enemies. Combine both actions for some other ones.
Okay, so basically, think Mario here. You jump, but that doesn't defeat them. You have to kick them whilst they've been squished.
Psst. If you can't hurt an enemy when he's facing you, try to kick his behind. It could work. You could also try to tire him out first. When he stops, kick his behind, bunny.
Don't like the way that Merlin said that with such delight. A little creepy. It's interesting that the enemy that chases you here is regular size as well, because the only enemies we'll come across like this in the game are usually quite large and generally tend to be quite fat as well. There's our golden carrot for the combat section. This one is pretty easy as well. This is just going to teach us.
You can move some objects using the push action. They can be used as a step to reach a too high ground or object.
That's what it's going to teach us. So basically, hold R1 to push large objects. Usually, it's not the case here, but usually there'll be scratch marks on the floor to indicate something can be dragged. So we're going to put that there. We can stack boxes as well, which it says there at the bottom. Feel free to pause and read that if you'd like. But yeah, basically we can stack boxes. It's going to be useful numerous times throughout this adventure. Go ahead and stack that. I absolutely just love the background and stuff in these levels as well. It's so basic. And a lot of it is obviously just 2D textures like those trees over there, but they just have such a nostalgia. We can dive. More on that later, but that would help us retrieve that carrot. Now let's learn how to use objects.
You can use objects like mallets to bust an enemy, but do it fast. It works for a short time.
So it says bust an enemy. We're not going to be busting an enemy. We're just going to be hitting this test of strength and missing it. You do have to be pretty precise, I've found. You can't really stand on it. You press R1 to also drop an object if we so choose, I think. I don't know. It was one of the buttons. I think it was L1 maybe. Let's learn about creeping now, or sneaking as it'll call
To
it.
land on explosive objects like TNT boxes without injuries, use the Here's action to softly land on it.
Not sure why he calls it here's. It's the ears action, but yeah. Also not sure why it says explosive objects, because as you'll see, I'm terrible at platforming. No, but seriously, as you can see, it just breaks. And pretty much every object in the game that is susceptible to that just breaks. As far as I'm aware, none of them blow up. Carrot achieved. Okay, let's learn about bouncy objects.
Bounce on some enemies to reach inaccessible objects or grounds.
So, bouncy objects, you will find trampolines like this or objects that resemble them throughout the game. They increase your jump height, as you would expect. You can also jump on enemies' heads, like we saw earlier, to squish them. But it also gives you a bonus to your jump height. Let's grab that checkpoint. This is Merlin's hat. This counts as a checkpoint. Very useful. Sometimes it can set you back if you grab one
You
though.
can pick up objects and throw them to enemies. You can also pick them up, move them, and drop them somewhere else.
He's right, you know. But yeah, as I was saying there, sometimes grabbing a checkpoint can actually set you back if it's a checkpoint further back in the level, or if it's one designed to just be an absolute pain, and we'll see that for the first time in the, well, I won't spoil it actually. So that will hit them, knocks them out, gets us a carrot, and then obviously we could press R1 to put it back down. That'll come in handy on a level very soon. I mean, I know it's a PlayStation 1 game, it's PlayStation 1 graphics, but if you compare like these graphics now to the PlayStation 1 graphics of the original game, like even just the water looks so much better. It's brilliant to see it like
To
this.
avoid awakening someone, use the sneak action. It can also be used on fragile grounds.
So I said back there that we'd be learning about the sneak action. I was wrong, obviously that was the ears action, but this is the sneak action. I'm just going to sneak up behind him and... And that's another golden carrot, and we're on 9. This will be our last carrot. So here we're going to learn how to travel underground. Apologise for the skip there, guys. I'll play this again. I'm not really sure what happened. Something happened with the audio, but... Well, I'll play this again and you guys can see about the going underground action.
Jump and press the dive action over a rabbit hole to get under the ground. To exit, reach a hole, and jump.
So worth noting with the dive action is, as you saw earlier when we did the move objects tutorial to stack boxes, you can actually increase your jump height by diving as well. Only by a slight amount, but still enough to pick objects up sometimes, I've found. Let's go ahead and go underground. You can collect carrots whilst you're underground, which is very useful. And obviously we can collect golden carrots and clock symbols. And they can be used in quite a few puzzles. Something worth noting that we'll come across later as well is enemies, certain kind of enemies at least, can knock you out of being underground. So it's by no means a way to be invincible. Okay, so, 10 carrot symbols, let's just head inside.
Pick this one up to start your quest. It opens the Stone Age era. Get in and there choose one of the opened entrances. Visit all of them and get back all the hidden clocks they contain.
Great! Thanks, Moyle. Anything else?
Yes. Of course, picking up carrots will raise up your energy. That's it for now. We'll probably meet again somewhere in time. Time traveling is one of my favorite hobbies. I'll teach more later, time traveler. Goodbye.
Yeah,
goodbye,
goodbye,
Moyle.
Moyle.
Collecting symbols. Well, why not? After all, they laughed at the man when he discovered the penicillin.
That they did. That's a quote that I say just randomly. Just randomly out of nowhere. I can go months without saying it and I'll just say it randomly. Always comes to my mind. Okay. First clock symbol. It's about time. Hey! Let's head to the Stone Age. Should be this way. There's a suspiciously familiar looking character down there for a split second. Who is it? Well, it'll become very obvious now. And there he is again. Anybody who's watched Looney Tunes will know who this is.
Today's hunt is Wabbit.
Yeah, Wabbit, yeah.
Hey,
That was
what's
convenient.
up, Doc? Wabbit.
Yeah, Wabbit, yeah.
Wabbit on the run. I do love the art for the loading screens on this game. So, first things first, we can see scratch marks. We can push this boulder to collect that golden carrot, but that's not all. As you'll see, we can actually push it all the way up to this ledge. And that's going to provide us with our first clock symbol. Roll to grab it. And another golden carrot. And another 2 golden carrots. Right off the bat, we're getting collectibles just left, right, and center. How many is there? So there's 22 golden carrots, or GCs as I might sometimes refer to them. And there's 9 clock symbols. Okay. No Acme boxes in this level. I'll explain what they are in the next level, because I believe that's where they first come as a possibility to collect. You're going to avoid these cacti, because they can do that, and their hitboxes are deceptive, I would say. have a look. Brontosaurus bridge, jump on it. If it insists. So I'm gonna remember what we've learnt here to jump on his head. Give him a good boot, get a golden carrot. Suspicious looking anvil shape there. Trigger it just to show you guys what it is. That can be used to your advantage against certain enemies, I will say. That is worth keeping in mind. So we've got some fool up here throwing boulders. He disappears as soon as you get up here, to be fair. Not sure where he goes, considering he doesn't just appear here, but there's another golden carrot there. Clock symbol over by the cactus. Some of them are blindingly obvious on where they are, but others are quite well hidden, I would say. Such as this one here. Climb on our friend, the good old Brontosaur's head. Head over this way, we've got a carrot, we've got a clock symbol. Look at the vistas and canyons behind. 2D, but brilliant. And there's a pterodactyl. You can bet that'll become a nuisance later on. Golden carrot there, more carrots. I will say, it didn't really tell you this in the tutorial, it probably will later on, but 99 carrots allows you to collect an unlockable golden carrot in each sort of hub world, and they are necessary for the true ending of the game. 100% completion, that is. So we've got the checkpoint there. Be very careful with this because it's very easy to accidentally knock yourself off the edge. Thankfully, their collectibles can't fall off the edge, that would be a nightmare. But sometimes I find that you wrestle with the camera more than you do the enemy when you're fighting them on ledges like that. So we've got a golden carrot there. We're going to roll through here for a clock symbol. That's going to give us another GC. Avoided that. Push him, kick him. So not all of them drop golden carrots, but I find it's best to just defeat them all, because if you're missing a golden carrot, more often than not, if you've not defeated every enemy, that's where it's going to come from. So we'll knock that down, creep to the edge. I don't think it'll fall on us anyway, but why not? Golden carrot, golden carrot. So we're not doing too bad at all. So by this point in the game, as you get to this sort of Brontosaurus with 3 bridges, you should have 4 clock symbols and 14 golden carrots with 6% completion, 24 carrots overall, 5 clocks overall. 4 to 6 carrots optional, depends whether you pick them up at nowhere and whether you pick them up here or not. Oh, sometimes I just go too quick. Thankfully it's not. Oh, fighting with the camera more than I'm fighting with the actual game. What is this, a Dark Souls boss fight? The soundtrack just sticks in your head with this game as well. It's so well composed. This and its sequel, Bugs and Taz, which is something I've always wanted to record for the channel and not really ever been able to, due to emulator limitations that no longer exist now, and also like technical difficulties with this. Don't really want to upload the sequel when this series isn't up to scratch. We've got a carrot, a golden carrot, a regular carrot. Is there anything around here? Not that I can see. So I don't believe you can actually defeat Elmer Fudd here, nor can you tire him out. You just have to jump on his head to get up here. He doesn't drop a golden carrot or anything. Of course, I haven't played this for a long time, and I'm by no means 100% expert, especially with the last couple of levels. But I like to think I know what I'm talking about for a good majority of the game, but if I do make a mistake, I will come back off camera and then include it at the end of the video. If I miss a carrot or a clock, I'll make sure to include its location. So we are aiming for 100% completion on this walkthrough, as you would hope. So let's get on this Brontosaur for another golden carrot, nice and easy. Another golden carrot. We're almost at capacity for this. Almost reached the goal of collecting all of them for this level. This guy might drop another. Come on. He does. So 2 more golden carrots to go. Quite a lot of carrots back here, along with a clock symbol and another golden carrot. So we need 1 golden carrot and 2 clock symbols. Usually, there is a clock symbol at the exit to a level. Usually. That's worth noting. Just so if you get close to the end of a level and you're missing 1 clock, go to the exit, make sure it's not above the rabbit hole. Oh, I like how when it slams the floor, all the carrots jump out and back in. Be very quiet. Sleeping pterodactyl. Sneak. Don't have to tell me twice. So this bit, I'm not going to show you guys because it's a nightmare. It takes a long time if he catches you. Basically, if he catches you, he will drop you off back at the start of this sort of sneak area where that sign was. But like I said, if you get caught, it's a nightmare. Pun intended, considering this game is based loosely on it's based on a number of episodes of Looney Tunes, but the whole core premise of time travel and stuff is based on Nightmare Hair, which is the only episode Merlin appears in, I believe. Okay, so we're going to sneak up, we're going to grab this clock. That should be the last clock symbol of the level.
Great.
It is. And now we are going to not get grabbed by the pterodactyl. Get the last GC. That's that sorted. Now we just need to sneak to the rabbit hole. See the pterodactyl flying around there in the distance? Hey, do you see the exit? Jump and dive into it to return to the time machine. And we just so happen to have a mailbox here. And we're receiving mail apparently. So, on that note, when you get to here, you should have 9% completion, 9 out of 9 clocks with 10 overall, 22 out of 22 golden carrots with 32 overall. And then you jump and you dive, and you are done with that level. Now we can go back to the Stone Age hub where Merlin should tell us.
Great. Just perfect. You have completed this level.
Ah, new era.
Let me save your position.
I would greatly appreciate that. It's probably going to tell me in the top left corner that it's
Thanks,
saved as well.
Bye.
Yeah.
There we go.
Goodbye, Moyle.
Alright, cool, and on that note, guys, thanks for watching. We'll start next episode with Guess Who Needs a Kickstart. You'll notice there's only 1 clock, only 5 golden carrots. There's a very good reason for that. But on that note, I'll see you guys next time. I hope you've enjoyed. Feel free to like, subscribe, comment any constructive feedback, anything like that. I'd love to hear it. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you next time.